produced by the man himself. Thank you, Mac Miller, for all your music that you put out. I appreciate you. You are an inspiration. Definitely saved my life a few times, trying to kill myself, etc. Blah blah. So we're gonna go ahead and switch some gears here. I wanted to open up with a little tribute for him. If you guys have not checked it out, go check out Balloonerism. It is probably one of the best hip-hop albums I've ever listened to. I think it opens up an entirely new genre or book, so to speak, of potentiality in rap. But that's just my opinion. So anyways, before we get started, I just want to do a little bit of a shout out to anyone who's listening to this. I appreciate you very much. It gives me inspiration to see the views. Not a necessity for my life to feel okay, but definitely gives me inspiration and continuation at times, for sure. Thank you all very much. So we're going to be listening to some OJ the Producer off album Sound Machine and 3 a.m. We got 16 Pads, Latency, 3 a.m., Endless Thoughts, Funky Notes, Lost Under the Moon, and Moonlight Shadows, in that order. Yeah, so love and respect about that. I will say I have more practice out of love and respect than in. I guess that's a reason why my belief is so strong. Somehow, on certain levels, when I was young, I knew that something was not right. Well, right really isn't the correct word, but something was off about how I saw everyone communicate in life. I didn't understand why we chose to use anger when we felt uncomfortable in a situation. I just saw people choosing to be angry. And then I became gripped with the resentment. I felt abandoned, not good enough, even though the universe gave me what everyone else seemingly wanted to be happy. In a masochistic type of way, I was eager to understand how it was to have nothing, so I kind of wanted to be homeless. Yeah, a little strange curiosity, of course. But it happened for sure. About 2 months in Northwest America in the winter. Good old Portlandia region. It's where we learned the true crystal method. Thank you 7-Eleven members for especially bagging up extra food. A shout out to God for saving me from multiple overdoses when no one was around. A big thank you to all the people who showed me how to love myself over all else, even though I wouldn't listen. Today I hear the internal call to do so upon awakening, and I hope the same for you. So this internal call to love myself every day, this came from choosing to love myself in the presence of every circumstance pointing the opposite. I do not mean new age ignorance in the form of bypassing everything with the positivity meter bursting like an Extends commercial. I mean a full acceptance that I'm just going to be uncomfortable right now. And all this stuff in my head regarding a memory or a future possibility doesn't need to be touched by me right now. Because under the influence of these strong emotions, I'm just not thinking clear. This realization and acceptance is difficult for me when I believe in the mechanism of control or the need to vilify something that I see unjust. The mind says, if I don't get rid of this uncomfortable feeling, I will die. Or I'm not okay right now, and this is not okay. Yeah, I know. So this process of becoming frustrated or resistant, it's just a sensation plus aggrandizing the story that comes up, rightfully so, and addictively in tandem with some belief about myself that is unloving, that keeps me stuck, so to speak. For me, I would have social anxiety and triggers because I didn't feel I was good enough, and then I would act a certain way from that feeling and judge myself for not doing things correctly in social settings. Just beating myself up over and over while believing that I'm correcting myself. A spiral with self-judgment and negativity at the forefront. So the question is, why not self-love and acceptance in that process to become more socially adept? Or at least able to perceive what's going on instead of being ran by my fear all the time. I guess I just wasn't taught this investigation as a kid. Hopefully this practice of acting in love and respect can help some people climb out of the pits we have dug ourselves in due to memories and beliefs about ourselves. It did me, but what does it really mean to act in love and respect or practice it? Well, when I realized most of the automatic thoughts in my head were negative and resistant in nature, I had to do something else to program myself. A few different transformational groups and self-help groups help implement spiritual principles over any person or personality I may come in contact with or entity I've judged negatively. A Course in Miracles sealed the deal after doing the lessons for about 4.5 years. I noticed my perception on everything was permanently shifted. I was guided inward with not many people to speak with. I was shown that I did not have to believe in anything present. However radical it may seem, I was shown this possibility. For any of you that don't know Gerald, he is my ego character in octopus form. Check out the song Gerald for a deeper reference. Gerald wants to tell me that if I don't believe in and do something about these uncomfortable feelings, that I'm weak and someone or something I don't like is winning over on me. Ultimately, I feel I'm losing in that moment. It's a story that makes no sense to a person who fully loves themselves. For a person who believes they are unlovable and stupid in whatever form that comes, these thoughts are very convincing. Only because they have not been shown any other frequency of thinking. By no fault to their own. And most who get shown actively resist due to seeing it through their traumatized view. and they self-sabotage themselves into a self-made playpen for their hurt inner child to meander. It is sad, but it does happen. We don't have to play as adult children anymore. If you're listening to this and you're an adult, we don't need to live our life in deception or dark thoughts, holding our vulnerability as the main thing in our minds. We can choose to love ourselves instead. Not very often is this chosen, though. So actually implementing love and respect, it's hard for me to tell you exactly how that will be as a blanket statement. But usually acting in love and respect is devoid of certain things. One of those things being a positionality, meaning a stance that's very fixated on a perspective that I have that needs to be proven. Usually that's not present. Rather, it's just not being actively shown in that moment. We can have opinions, but how we choose to interact with a person based on my feelings is based on how loving and respectful I am to myself. So above all else, saying I love myself in the midst of anything, that was the thing that broke certain cycles in my mind. But these cycles don't always end so easily. Funny thing, whenever I decided to start loving myself more by literally just saying I love myself because I love myself for no other reason than I love myself. So many things tried to tell me I was unloving. A woman I was dating at the time the action of no one reaching out to me after I had left a certain group of friends, and they cared. I know they did. Not too many wanted to see how I was doing though. So in that moment when there's no one there, seemingly, when there's no outside activities making you feel better, because you know that just doesn't work. There must be something for us to stand on when I don't feel okay. It's having the courage to reach out and do something that may be uncomfortable, but we know is beneficial to myself and the other, at least seemingly. If it's not, we stop. But if it's just my own selfish nature holding me back, checking up on someone, saying hello, all these things, they may strum a different vibrating chord than our own self-hatred or anxiety. But practicing love and respect, the point is not to get rid of uncomfortable feelings. It's to connect to a thought system that is, in principle, contextually ever present and an option at all times, no matter what. And something that just feels good to practice if you do it in a way that's not a doormat, people pleaser, without the notion of codependency, and it's authentic love and respect. And from empathy that you see, or feel for people rather, not see. Very simple things, like in my mind, if I'm walking down the street and I notice my brain's just judging, saying, God, I love myself. Trying to laugh at my insanity of why I'm even judging to begin with. I mean, it's just a habit, I guess. But, I mean, when I do remember that I'm judging and it's probably not going to affect my day very positively, and I take that extra second to just say, all right, I love myself enough to let go of this judgment. How? I don't know. I just do. The recognition of me judging and that this is going to affect me in a way that's probably more weighted than not and unloving seems to pull my attention away from the judgment and shifts my attention to what would be more loving and respectful for me to recognize that I don't know what's going on. And a lot of messed up things happen here anyway, so I mean, who knows? The endless changing perceptions of the world, they will be there. We're on our last track here, guys. If you made it this far, thank you so much. So these endless changing perceptions, like I said, always there. People's problems, how they choose to deal with them in misperception and try to drag others down subconsciously. All that's going to be there. I invite you to please have the courage to stand up in your life, wherever you are, not as a proving notion of opinion of love and respect against another person, but moving as a vessel and working on becoming more loving and respectful, that's devoid of our own selfish opinion of the situation and more about how can I present myself in this situation to where everything is benefited, not just me. And simply, if I stay where my feet are, the sensation of my feet, I will see what problems I really need to handle now, and what problems are just future and past thoughts. And if those thoughts are too much, then I need to go help somebody. Get out of my own head. I hope this has been a little bit of a summary of practicing love and respect in my mind and some different key points for you guys and girls that are listening. I appreciate all of you. Again, thank you, OJ, the producer, for this awesome beat. And appreciate you guys for listening. So yeah, this kind of just cut because the song just kind of ends that way. I didn't want to edit any of this stuff. I liked how it came out. It's not as tight as the other stuff. I wanted it to end with something nice and perfect and all that, but it comes across great. Please love and respect yourselves. Peace out, y'all. And if you really like this stuff, please share with like 10, 15 people. Just send it out if you feel like someone could hear the message of love and respect.